Good evening and welcome to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Andy Hewling and alongside me is Sam Humphrey. We've got a lot of sports to get to tonight, starting with men's basketball and their last two tough conference games.
That's right, you're watching Sports Night in Auburn. Men's basketball has been kind of in a rough patch lately and look to end it over the weekend as they headed to Starkville to take on Mississippi State in another SEC road game.
Auburn went into Starkville looking to end their three-game losing streak as Bryce Brown looked to keep the Tigers motivated for the game.
Unfortunately, it wasn't enough as the Tigers would fall to the Bulldogs. Bryce Brown will lead the way with 18 points, but it wouldn't be enough as Bruce Pearl's squad's losing streak would extend to 4, with the final being 92-84. Tonight, the Tigers go back to Auburn Arena to take on another set of Tigers as Missouri comes looking to keep the Tigers and their losing ways on track. Missouri and Auburn are both unranked, so both of these squads are looking to make their way back into the polls as they try to salvage their seasons.
Like we said earlier, Auburn has fallen out of the rankings, so these next few games are crucial for the Tigers in order to make a final push to the NCAA tournament. So Sam, Auburn's really on the brink right now after losing 2 in a row to South Carolina and now to Mississippi State. And Austin Wiley being out has hurt them. What do you think the Tigers need to do to get back on track this week and get some wins under their belt?
Well, they need Austin Wiley back, first of all. But before the season, you saw when he was coming back from injury how they slowly returned him to the starting lineup, easing his way back in. And you saw against Kentucky, against South Carolina, we needed the rebounds. We needed size. Austin Wiley provided that. And when he's gone, we're going to lose some games.
Yeah, for sure. I think I agree with you. Wiley is an important key to Auburn's offense. Especially foul trouble has been an issue with McLemore and Horace Spencer because they don't have Wiley in there to substitute for them. We saw in the South Carolina game, they went out early in the second half because of fouls. And that's going to be a big deal, especially, like you said, rebounding is an issue. And I think Auburn is also, their offense has got to change. They got to move the ball around a little bit more instead of shooting unnecessary threes at some points where it's really crucial that they get maybe a 2 or, easy buckets. But yeah, it's going to be crucial, but I don't think Auburn's going to go down with a fight. I think Pearl and the Tigers will come back this week and probably get a few more wins under their belt.
Yeah, sure, if you're right. Coming up in our sports director, Hayden, we'll take a look at Auburn basketball and what they need to do in order to get their season back on track.
As a mom and an Olympian, I know the importance of getting to the finish line quickly.
But quicker isn't always better when it comes to conversations about the dangers of underage drinking.
General Marshall is right. You don't need to get the entire point across in one dinner or one car ride.
Stick to those meaningful moments. A text or short conversation can go a long way.
And be sure to use resources like asklistenlearn.org.
They've got everything from conversation starters to facts about the dangers of underage drinking.
So start the conversation today about saying yes to a healthy lifestyle.
And no to underage drinking.
Welcome back. Tonight, I'm going to take you through a few plays from Auburn basketball's recent contest with Kentucky and tell you what the Tigers need to do to keep their season alive. Now, first, we're going to take a look at this pull-up 3 from Jared Harper and what makes this one of his best shots. So take a look. Jared Harper is right here, and he has the ball. He's going to take it and dribble back up to the top, sort of reset. I'm going to pause it right here. He's sort of resetting the play and trying to get his guys in position to where they can make an impact just as much as he is, a true point guard. Now, he's going to take the ball, and as you can see, he has a lot of separation. Now, that's one of the best things that Jared Harper does as a point guard. He really is just great at getting himself separation and to where the defender really does not even have a chance of affecting his shot, and that's been proven by his shooting percentages. He's shooting 39.7% from 3 and 39.5% from the floor. Now, next we're going to look at this team as a whole, and Auburn has not struggled offensively in the slightest. That's not the narrative that I'm trying to give you. Auburn put up 84 points on the road against the top 25 SEC team, 80 against the top 10 squad in Kentucky, and 77 on the road against the proven South Carolina squad. What I'm trying to say here is, offensively, these guys are fine. Bryce Brown is going to get his shots and give you 20 a game because that's who he is. He's also one of the best on-ball defenders in the country, which Bruce Pearl has alluded to a multitude of times in press conferences and to the general media. But Auburn has got to get better on the defensive side of the ball. Take a look at these numbers. In the loss to Ole Miss, Terrence Davis had 27 points. In the loss to Kentucky, Tyler Harrow had 20 points. He went 3 for 6 from beyond the arc and hit key free throws late to seal the win. Against South Carolina, Chris Sylvia had 32 points, was 11 for 12 from the floor, and 10 for 11 from the line. And finally, against Mississippi State, Quindary Weatherspoon had 27 points, was 4 for 5 from 3, and 11 for 11 from the free throw line. It seems as though every time a player in the SEC has a big game, it comes at the expense of this Auburn team. Now, this team, when firing on all cylinders, is one of the most explosive in the country, and without a doubt a championship contender. They wouldn't have been ranked so high had they not been at the beginning of the season. If the Tigers win tonight against Missouri in the Auburn Arena, which I think they will, I believe Bruce Pearl can get them back on track. But if not, this season might be in trouble. Coming up, Andy and Sam will have a recap of everything else going on in the Plains, starting with women's basketball. I'm Hayden Desmond, and you're watching Sports Night in Auburn on Eagle Eye TV.
I believe that this is a practical world.
And that I can count only on what I earn.
Therefore, I believe in work.
Hard work.
I believe in education,
which gives me the knowledge to work wisely
and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully.
I believe in honesty and truthfulness,
without which I cannot win.
The respect and confidence of my fellow men.
I believe in a sound mind
and a sound body
and a spirit that is not afraid.
That is not afraid.
Not afraid.
And in clean sports
that develop these qualities.
I believe in obedience to law
because it protects the rights of all.
I believe in the human touch,
which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men,
and mutual helpfulness,
and brings happiness for all.
For all.
For all.
I believe in my country
because it is a land of freedom,
and because it is my own home,
and that I can best serve that country
by doing justly,
loving mercy,
and walking humbly with my God.
And because Auburn men
and women
believe in these things.
I believe in Auburn.
I believe in Auburn.
I believe in Auburn.
I believe in Auburn. I love it.
Coming off a 20-point comeback against Vanderbilt earlier in the week, the Tigers looked to secure a win against a ranked opponent at home. Coach Flo and the rest of the Lady Tigers welcomed in number 24 Texas A&M into the jungle. Auburn started off the game strong, leading as many as 8 points at halftime. Nick Thompson had a great game on the boards, coming down with 10 rebounds, with 4 of those coming off the offensive glass. We cannot forget about the efforts of Deja Alexander, who went 3 for 7 from behind the three-point line, and 12 points. And Auburn's leading scorer, senior guard Janiah McKay, who finished with 17 points. Auburn's determination to come back and tie the game in the fourth quarter after being down 11 showed the fans nothing but grit by this squad. These efforts were not enough against the Aggies, as sophomore guard Kennedy Carter was doing her best James Harden impersonation, hitting the game-winning shot with 4.6 seconds left in the game and had a game-high 28 points. She was by far the best player on the court that night. Auburn's next game was on Sunday against number 25 Missouri, which ended in a 74-65 loss for Auburn. The Tigers will try to bounce back from back-to-back losses as they go on the road to face Ole Miss this Thursday. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. on the SEC Network.
Auburn Gymnastics has been on a roll quietly, becoming one of the hottest sports on campus. Last Friday, they welcomed in the 6th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs, and Eagle Eye was there to capture it all. With a sold-out Auburn arena, the Tigers fed off the energy of the crowd. Top performances came from Gracie Day, who posted a 9.875 on bars and a 9.9 on the vault. Darian Gaborn had a successful night, winning the all-around and the floor exercise, capped off with a perfect 10 from one of the judges. The Tigers are now 4-0 in the SEC and 5-0 overall. Auburn Baseball announced that this Saturday, February 2nd, there will be a fun day at Plainsman Park, where fans can get a sneak peek at the 2019 Auburn Tigers with an inter-squad scrimmage and a 30-minute autograph session following that. The gates will open at 1:30 p.m. Auburn Baseball has been ranked number 20 in the USA Today preseason coaches poll, which marks the 5th time the Tigers have been preseason ranked entering 2019. The team has also been ranked number 15 by Perfect Game, 17 by Baseball America, 22 by D1, and 23 by Collegiate Baseball. Auburn Baseball opens the 2019 season with a 3-game series against Georgia Southern from February 15th through the 17th. This past Monday was Super Bowl Media Days, and Eagle Eye was granted with unprecedented access to players and coaches, with 3 players being former Auburn players. Hayden and I got a chance to catch up with them. The Super Bowl has arrived in Atlanta, and with it brings 3 Auburn Tigers. For the Los Angeles Rams, Blake Countess, and the Patriots, Jonathan Jones and Brandon King.
I'm Hayden Desmond, and I'll be taking the New England Patriots side of the ball in a little bit. But right now, I'm going to throw it to my co-director, Andy Hewling, as he has the report from the Los Angeles Rams.
We're from Auburn University, so talk about being an Auburn alum in this game.
You know, they got some Auburn alums over on that side too, John Jones and Brandon King. And so just, you know, being back in Atlanta, because I was at Auburn for a year, and when I took my Auburn visit, I didn't know that you had to fly into Atlanta to get to Auburn. So being back in Atlanta, it just kind of reminded me, being at the airport, you know, when I was coming for my official visit, you know, flying in and then driving down with my mom and meeting with Muschamp and T-Rob. You know, it's special for me. And then guys like John Jones, who was a senior at the time that I was coming in, you know, for him to embrace me and that whole team to embrace me, it's going to be special, man. I didn't get a chance to play with B. King, but just him being an Auburn guy, I know, you know, how he's been coached and, you know, what he's gone through at Auburn and kind of things like that. So it's going to be special, man. It's definitely going to be special facing off against them guys who are 2 prolific special teamers as well. You know, it's going to be fun.
That's all we have here from the Los Angeles Rams. Now let's flip it over to Hayden Desmond, who has the New England Patriots.
We're here with Brandon King here at Super Bowl Medias. Now, Brandon, talk about the Super Bowl experience and everything that you've been able to experience here at the New England Patriots.
The Super Bowl experience is one of a kind. You know, each time coming here, being in this, you know, situation, being in this game, it's been different. Everything you have to go through to get here is different. The guys you're playing next to is different. But just enjoying it out here so far. Back, you know, a little bit closer to Auburn, back a little bit closer to home. So it's a little bit different experience, but, you know, we're trying to get the same, you know, trying to get a, you know, positive outcome out of this game.
So we're with the Auburn student media, and you were a 4-year starter at AU. Talk about that experience and what it meant for you and your development as a football player.
Auburn was great, man. I loved Auburn for me. Just being there, the experience, it definitely helped me get here and being in the NFL. So all my time at Auburn was great. I loved it. War Eagle, you know, missed the planes.
So that's a wrap from Super Bowl 53 Media Days. Andy, what was your favorite part about the Media Days today?
I'd just say talking to the players. I think they all had really good attitudes about the game. Just really, I think the Rams are excited to play the Patriots, but the Patriots are just even happy to be here, even though they've been here 3 times already, and even more after that. But I just say, like, you know, at least talking to the Auburn players, it's good to see them representing Auburn well, but also representing their team. So it's going to be a great game Sunday. I'm really excited to see what happens.
We want to give a special thank you to Brandon King, Jonathan Jones, and Blake Countess for being available to the Auburn student media for us to interview. I'm Hayden Desmond, joined by Andy Hewling here at Super Bowl 53 Media Days for Eagle Eye TV, signing off.
Coming up, we'll have a look at everything that's going on in your Auburn sports. We'll be right back.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Hi, Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So. I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Let's take a look at your week ahead in Auburn athletics. Thursday, Auburn women's basketball travels to Ole Miss to take on the Rebels. Tip-off is at 7 p.m.
Friday, the cross-country team and track and field will compete in the Carolina Challenge against South Carolina. Men's tennis faces off against Georgia Tech at 11 a.m. and then Alabama State at 5 p.m. And to conclude Friday, women's gymnastics will travel to Kentucky with the event expected to start at 6 p.m.
On Saturday, women's tennis will face Houston first at 10 a.m. and then UAB at 3 p.m. Auburn's equestrian team is going up against Delaware State University and Fresno State with a time to be determined. Men's basketball will have their own Iron Bowl as they face off against Alabama. Tip-off is at 7 p.m.
On Sunday, men's tennis takes on Minnesota at noon. And to conclude the weekend, women's basketball will be tested against Georgia at home. Tip-off will be at 2 p.m. Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at EEETV_sports and follow Eagle Eye TV on Instagram. And don't forget to check out our website, eagleeyeauburn.com. I'm Sim Humphrey.
And I'm Andy Hewling. Thank you for joining us, and War Eagle.